And welcome back to another episode of Life in Prison. My name is Zach. If you haven't already done it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button so you'll be first informed when I upload. This year's prison content. Unfortunately, I spent 5 years of my life in maximum security prison here in the great state of West Virginia, up at Mount Olive in Huntsville. And since returning from prison, I have then dedicated my life to helping others that unfortunately cannot help themselves. I've got my medical degree, and now I am working on urgent care. And as I said, I help others that unfortunately home remedies may not work and they might need a little bit something extra. I'm your man. Today we're going to talk about pranks in prison. You always hear a lot of people talking about the dangerous things, people getting killed, people getting stabbed, people getting beat up, extorted, the booty bandits. But honestly, if you ask most person that's ever been to prison, a lot of the times the dudes are goofing off in there, okay? So this is where you got to think there's going to be a lot of pranksters and a lot of joking on going off. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get in trouble in horseplay if you're wrestling around more or less, right? If you're with your buddy in your cell or out in day room, if you're all just wrestling around, you're going to the hole for fighting. So that can start a lot of shit up, right? People would take toothpaste or shampoo, conditioner, lotion, and put on the underside of their cell doors. So when they go to their cell to open up their door or to slide it open, whatever type of prison you're at, now you've got this unknown substance sticking all over your hands. And you don't know what it is. It may not be anything that's, nasty. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen people put doo-doo, more or less, on people's door handles, put other things on people's door handles, and people just be like, oh, and then your first instinct is to smell it, right? Ah, we're good. Thank God, right? So you see a lot of that. I'm sure a lot of people got ice bombed. What an ice bomb is say you're in the shower, enjoying yourself, cleaning off the hard day's work of working out in the center yard or on the big yard, pushing big weight. You're in there taking a shower, getting ready for the night, about to watch some TV, then lay it down for count, right? But while you're in the shower, out of fucking left field comes this massive bucket of ice and water. Now, certain prisons have ice machines on the pods and on the dorms and stuff, and I know some don't. Fortunately, as I said, in West Virginia, maximum security, we not only had ice dispensers, but we are lucky enough to have Xbox 360s, PlayStation 2s, boom boxes. So most people pretty much goof off. That's how I did my time. Not everyone had the same prison experience. I can say I had fun. And that's why I realized that I should never go back, because I don't want to be accustomed to living the easy life, not worrying about something. I want to be out here, be productive, help my community, give back to my community. I've taken, so now I'm returning, right? Living life in there, it might be fun and jokes and haha a good bit of the time. Now, don't get me wrong, when it's time to be serious, it's time to be serious. But that's no life for anybody. Whenever you're in the hole, right? People like playing pranks and jokes and stuff like that. I've seen people, so anyone that's ever been to prison or anyone that's ever watched enough prison content where you realize when people talk about fishing, whenever you're in the hole or in segregation or in your cell, right? Is when you take a string, however long, and you stick a weight on the end of it and you slide it up and down from cell to cell, and that's how you go and retrieve items from other people's cells, right? So I've seen people fishing from other people's cells, and you don't know what's coming back to you. I mean, someone could say they're sending you something, but you don't know until you get it, right? Well, unfortunately, I've seen plenty of people get the poo-poos. I don't know if any of the other prison content creators out there, if you're watching this, have you guys ever seen somebody get poop sent while going fishing? Well, what the inmates would do to the COs, so in the morning and at night, right, for breakfast and for dinner, you would get a milk carton about so big, the small ones, right? So what the inmates would do is they'd drink the milk all the way, open the top, then reclose it all the way and make it flat, right? Now remember, there's a gap about this big underneath the cell door to the floor. So every hour on the hour, the cops do their rounds and walk around to see if all the inmates are still in their cells. So when they walk around, they put the milk carton right down at the bottom of the door, kind of stand off to the side. So when it's dark and lights out, the CO has to get real close to the cell door to look in to see if you're laying in your bunk. At that moment is when you slam down on the milk carton, creating this echo that can be heard for cells upon cells down. Gunshot reverberates through the cell and blasts out that door, and it scares the living shit out of the COs. I've seen them drop cell phones, I've seen them drop their walkie-talkies, I've seen them drop their clipboards, I've seen them drop their flashlights, I've seen their souls leave their life. That's one little thing that you would get away, Now don't get me wrong, you wouldn't get away with it, depending on the CO. But then again, I've seen plenty of people get cell extracted for doing that. What happens whenever you get cell extracted? That's more of a joke on the inmate opposed to the correctional officer, correct? So what cell extraction is when they tell you to cuff up. And so say you don't cuff up, right? Okay. That's when they come in with some pepper spray, most likely a beanbag shotgun. They hit you with the taser. They've got a long little boomstick. They've got a shield that'll shock and tase you. They've got a little bunch of little gadgets that'll smoke grenades and shit that'll fuck you up, clear out, you know what I'm saying? And they'll come get you. So if people want to fuck with the wrong CO, that's what'll happen. Most people don't really fuck with people's food in prison, do you know what I'm saying? Just because that's something that'll really get you fucked up. So like pranking with people's food, there's a few no-nos where it's just like you don't really prank people or you don't really mess with people's stuff. So you don't really mess with people's food. Mail. People don't mess with mail. You don't joke and prank around with people's mail either. That's something very sacred because that's your only communication pretty much other than the phone to the outside world. So there's no joking and pranking with people's, mail and stuff like that. So I don't know if any of you guys in any other states, if there was something like this going around. So it was a thing. If I made a bet with you, right, and if you lost, right, so what would happen is if I made a bet with you, if you couldn't do 50 push-ups, right, then you would have to, it's a game called Matter Daddy, right? So what would happen is, say you lost. Stipulations are, we're going to be in the chow hall or in the pill line or somewhere where there's a group of people, a mass group of people, and whenever it's quiet, I would then yell out, "Oh my goodness!" And then you would then yell out, "What's the matter, Daddy?" Matter Daddy. You know what I'm saying? It's a prison thing. Let's see. There was the Yes Daddies where if you missed a bet, then you'd pretty much be someone's servant for one item or whatever, do one thing, right? So say we was playing cards, you made a bet, you lost, then you'd be my manservant and it'd be Yes Daddy. So say if I wanted a drink, right? Say I'm playing cards, I'm like, "Hey, go grab me my drink out my cell." Then you'd have to clearly say where everyone could hear, "Yes Daddy," and go get it. You would think that people would be like shunned, but it's one of those things where everyone started doing it, so it was really pretty much common to hear it at least once or twice a day, either at chow, down at school, down at commissary, in the gym, outside on the small yard or the big yard. In the whole, it didn't matter. Like, it was one of those things where, you want to be the one to have someone call you daddy. It was like a status thing, but it was like everyone started doing it. So it pretty much got played out. People thought it was funny because someone called them daddy in prison. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole psychological thing because everyone assumes that in prison, if you're not strong, you weak. And if you weak, you better be someone's punk. This is why I say you can't take things so seriously. Obviously, there's a time and a day for what needs to happen. But if you go, say unfortunately if you get locked up, right, and if you sit in prison if you're just grumpy and you're so, man, I don't want to be here. I just want to go home. If you're like that all day, then literally you're going to be miserable. Your time's going to be miserable because you got to think. Say you got a small sentence, right? Say you got 10-year sentence and you're complaining about not being home, not being around your people, being there with a bunch of other dudes, and you've got a guy that's sitting next to you that's got, let's see, the rest of his life in there. What do you, like, you get what I'm saying? That's one thing you don't play with is your time. Have you ever, the meme where it's like, oh yeah? So, in prison, as I said in other videos, we used to get, people used to get DVDs, right? Adult DVDs. Well, this one time, during lockdown, it's quiet as hell, right? Someone had this adult DVD and they were playing it in their cell. So what they did is they took the TV and they stuck the TV at the bottom of their door and they turned the volume all the way up, but then muted it, right? At the precise moment, they unmuted it, and all you hear was, oh, yeah, oh, God, yeah, like, playing. So, think about it. After about 4 seconds of that playing, then you start seeing dudes mysteriously showing up to their windows, just like, where the hell they come from, Bob? I don't know. In prison, if you don't lighten up, if you take things too seriously, honestly, for one, people ain't gonna fuck with you, and then the ones that do hang around you, they have pretty ill intentions. I'm just gonna let you know that now. Today was just a short video on jokes and games in prison. Pretty much, you know, can't always take things too seriously. There's a time and a place, but at the end of the day, no one wants to see a bunch of negativity, honestly, right? If you haven't already done it, go ahead, check out Stone Collective Supply Company over on Instagram. You can go ahead and check out the website, stonecollectivesupply.com. My buddy Caleb is booming with the merch. Second drop is going to be coming out. Holiday season is roughly upon us. It is coming up. His shit is always fire. Go check him out, guys. Make sure you go ahead and check out his merch. It is getting better and better and better, as it should be. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Hit that bell notification button so you'll be first informed when I upload. Reason shoe is there because I had a couple people ask me about what shoes do you be wearing whenever you're filming. Well, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put the shoe up there that I'm wearing while I'm filming. I do have a nice little, you know, collection. Not sitting, not pushing like Jay Williams hat collection. Breadwinner Ruger out there, my man. I seen your shoe game. I peeped game. I fucking love your shit. Maybe go ahead and do a shoe battle. Go ahead and throw one. You throw one, I throw one. See what it do, baby boo. And as always, I send my utmost love, loyalty, respect. Keep y'all head up. It's getting cold. Stay warm. Stay hydrated. But most of all, stay positive, guys. As always, take it easy.